The organizers, the secretariats, members of the pen profession, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. You're welcome to the 2025 Annual Downstream Petroleum Week, a historic gathering dedicated to shaping the future of Nigeria's downstream petroleum sector. We are gathered here today not only as stakeholders and experts, but as stewards of one of the most critical sectors of our national economy. Your presence here from across government, private sector, regulatory agencies, and civil society is a testament to the shared commitment we all hold to drive sustainable reform, foster innovation, and ensure transparency, efficiency, and inclusivity in the downstream oil and gas industry. This conference marks the beginning of a new era of dialogue and strategic engagement. Over the course of today's session, we will hear from thought leaders, policy makers, and industry players who will help us explore the challenges, opportunities, and innovations shaping the future of the downstream sector. Again, let me welcome you all to this all-important event, and also welcome you to the House of Representatives of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Without much ado, Your Excellency, and with your kind permission, let me welcome all our guests to this event, and of course, the honorable members that have been here for the past 2 hours. We thank you for your hard work, and we thank you for your services to our nation. Thank you very much. At this point, we will take a few recognitions from our guests that are here. But before then, in House of Representatives, we'll do self-introduction. If you ask me to introduce all the honorable members that are here, I can do that. But I might bite my tongue trying to pronounce the constituencies they represent. So that's the reason why we do self-introduction. With your permission, Your Excellency, we'll do self-introduction. We'll take introduction from the honorable members. Thank you very much, sir.
Excellency, Deputy Speaker, the Chairman of this committee, Deputy Chairman, colleagues, respected guests, I am Yoruba Alfonso Sodudo. I represent the women of Ikota Basin, Patino and East Noble Federal Constituency. I'm from Akwa-Ibom State.
Thank you very much. The Chairman, Senate Committee on Petroleum Resources, Downstream, Distinguished Senator Kao Sumaila. The Chairman, House Committee on Petroleum Resources, Downstream, Honorable Barrister Akpoti-Uduaghan, the Chairman, House Committee on Petroleum Resources Midstream, Honorable Soji Akoki, the Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream, Honorable Aliyu Mustafa Abdullahi, the Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Petroleum Resources Midstream, Honorable Prince Henry Okoje, my respected colleagues of this important committee, the Chairman of House of Representative Committees here present, the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Distinguished Senator Henneken Lepobri, Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, Right Honorable Obongemen Ikberiekbe Ekpo, PhD, the Group Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NMPCL, Engineer Bashir Bayo Ujulari, the Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, the NUPRC, Engineer Benga Kumulafe, the Authority Chief Executive, Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Engineer Farouk Ahmed, heads of ministries, departments, and agencies of government here present, distinguished panelists, the stakeholders in oil and gas industry here present, our invited guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. I bring you greetings from the Speaker of the House of Representatives, who had wanted to be here but is busy with other national engagement and has asked me to wear his cap today. So today I'm wearing both my red cap and my Hausa cap. So I'm wearing two caps today. I'm delighted and excited to welcome you all to the first annual Downstream Petroleum Week, organized by the House Committee on Petroleum Resources, Downstream, in partnership with the Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources and Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, the NMDPRA. As I look around at the quality of representation here, I feel confident that this event will become one of the most defining moments in the evolution of the downstream petroleum sector. Our hope is that as thinkers, as innovators, as workers, and as policymakers and policy advocates, your collaboration will finally reshape the industry, setting an agenda for growth, for transparency, accountability, and for sustainable practices. Ladies and gentlemen, I therefore commend the Chairman of the House Committee on Petroleum Resources, Honorable Barrister Akpoti-Uduaghan, and the rest members of the committee for conceiving and convening this historical national conference with stakeholders like the NMP, CL, Pengasin, the Dangote Group, and all the other oil and gas affiliated associations represented here today. Your participation underscores our shared commitment to progress and reform. Together, we represent the full value chain: policy, regulation, labor, production, investment, and working in one accord to build a stronger energy sector. The topic of the conference, celebrating our sources, confronting our challenges, and finding solutions for the petroleum downstream sector, is remarkable in its clarity. It is timely, in fact, a timely reminder that Nigeria is full of success stories, and we should always find time to celebrate them. That the challenges we face as a country are not insurmountable. And with this kind of collaboration, quality assurance, and self-evaluation by critical stakeholders, solutions definitely are bound to emerge from conversations like the one we are going to have this morning. Distinguished guests, I am pleased, very pleased, to identify with this giant initiative that seeks to redirect our focus on the evolving realities around one of the most vital sectors of the Nigerian economy, the downstream petroleum sector. Nigeria is at a critical point in its drive for industrialization. So, this conference could not have come at a better time. The oil and gas industry, especially the downstream sector, is witnessing an unprecedented revival under the progressive leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, whose renewed hope agenda is reforming and revitalizing key sectors of the economy. The effective takeoff of the Dangote refinery marked a turning point in our nation's quest for energy self-sufficiency. The anticipated emergence of other private indigenous refineries underlines the need for the National Assembly to continue to create a functional environment for industries to thrive. I therefore cannot stress enough the imperative of this conference and its implications for strengthening the systems around the petroleum sector for improved productivity and improved accountability. Ladies and gentlemen, indeed, agenda-setting programs such as this conference, which tend to galvanize critical stakeholders in the petroleum downstream sector, not only foster inclusiveness and commitment to genuine national development, but also reinforce citizens' trust in the commitment of the National Assembly and government institutions in driving sustainable development. The evolution in the petroleum industry today has been made possible by the landmark passage of the Petroleum Industry Act 2021, a comprehensive sweeping legislation that reformed the governance, reformed the administration, as well as the fiscal framework of the Nigerian petroleum industry. The law structured the NNPC, transforming it into a commercial entity and established such regulatory bodies as the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, the NUPRC, and Nigerian Midstream Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, the NMDPRA, thus renewing investors' confidence, reducing oil pilferage, promoting transparency and competition, and generally improving operational efficiency. Ladies and gentlemen, our legislative responsibility has always been to craft policies, enact laws, and provide the oversight that is needed that will strengthen this downstream sector and ensure that it contributes to a more secure, more efficient, more resilient Nigerian economy. The outcome of this conference, or conferences such as these, is that we will not only make laws out of the conversations that we'll have here today, we will make them more pertinent and make them more productive. We will also ensure that it will receive the avid cooperation and support of industry leaders. This conference, therefore, provides an invaluable opportunity for improved legislation. By bringing together government, industry, labor, and investors to share perspectives, confront challenges, and develop practical, forward-looking solutions to the challenges in the sector, this forum ensures that the conversation to be heard here will inform the framework of any policy in the energy landscape for years to come. Ladies and gentlemen, Nigerians therefore expect certain deliverables from this conference, especially as they concern the prevalent infrastructure deficit that has hampered the full optimization of liquefied petroleum gas, the LPG, and compressed natural gas, the CNG. Solutions to energy security issues, pipeline vandalism, and dubious pricing, and policy clarity over certain regulations in the sector. As part of the larger energy transition, this conference is expected to develop a roadmap for sustainable energy practices and discover opportunities in new technologies that power solar, that wind, and hydroelectricity. In sum, this event provides a rich opportunity to create high-level networking that will lead to a new partnership, facilitate knowledge exchange in areas like refining, like logistics, like renewable energy integration, and decarbonization, among others. The imperative of effective legislation is enhancing the petroleum downstream sector cannot be overemphasized, the need of it. This meeting annual Downstream Petroleum Week therefore reflects the National Assembly's unwavering commitment to evidence-based policymaking, stakeholder engagement, and genuine desire to transform the petroleum sector. Consequently, I urge you, esteemed participants and stakeholders, to regard your deliberation and participation at this important conference as a service to our nation. Our country relies on you to come up with innovative and creative solutions that will revamp the petroleum downstream sector, contribute to the overall development of the economy, and positively impact the country as a whole. As we begin this important conference, I urge everyone to engage with an open mind. Let us share ideas freely, challenge assumptions, and above all, let us focus on practical ideas that can move our downstream industry from where it is today to where we see it tomorrow, while strengthening Nigeria's economic base. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to declare this national conference on behalf of the Speaker of the House of Representatives open. I wish you fruitful deliberation and thank you for listening. God bless you and bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Will you please take our seat? Let's settle down, please. While His Excellency, the Deputy Speaker, was making his presentation, the representative of the President of the Senate, Distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio, GCON, steps in. Is here being represented by the Deputy Leader of the Senate, Distinguished Senator Lola Ashiru. You're welcome, sir. Let's appreciate him, please. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to invite the Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream, Honorable Barrister Ikenga Imo Ugochinyeri, to please present his welcome remarks. Mr. Chairman, sir.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me start by welcoming the representative of the Senate President, Distinguished Senator Ashiru Lola, for being here with us. And let me also warmly acknowledge our host and leader, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, who was ably represented by the Deputy Speaker, Right Honorable Benjamin Okezie Kalu. And let me also welcome in a special way the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, who have been very supportive of this program and work with us to make this program possible today. Right Honorable Ekperikpe Ekpo, you're welcome, Honorable Minister. Let me also welcome to this event the Chairman of the Senate Committee on Downstream Petroleum, Distinguished Senator Kawo Smaila. Okay. Also, let me also welcome my own brother, Honorable Prince Okoje Henry, the Chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Midstream Petroleum. You're welcome. I want to appreciate in a special way the presence of the representative of the Chief Executive of NNDPRA. NNDPRA have been very supportive of the activities of the Downstream Committee. You're welcome, ED. They sent 4 EDs to be here today. And let me also welcome the NUPRC representative, the person representing Engineer Benga Komolefe, Thank you so much for coming here, Engineer Amadasu. And also to Dangote Refinery, that have also been a partner with the Downstream Committee, represented this morning by Suleiman Aliyu. Suleiman, you're welcome. Let me also welcome all other invited dignitaries spanning from modular refinery owners, DAPMAN, Petroleum, union leaders, ITO Group, Customs, and other partners who have also worked with us for this program, too numerous to mention. So it's my honor to welcome captains of industry, labor leaders, heads of agencies, members of the press, and the great Nigerian public who continue to have faith in what we do. And in a special way, I want to salute the members of the Downstream Committee, my distinguished colleagues who have been here with us since the last 2 hours. Distinguished guests, today's gathering marks a new chapter in our energy story, the inaugural annual Downstream Week Summit 2025. This summit is more than a formal meeting. It is a national platform for reflection and renewal. It brings together the public and private sectors to discuss how best to reposition Nigeria's downstream petroleum industry as a driver of growth, innovation, and energy self-sufficiency. The annual Downstream Week is designed to be a recurring space for national dialogue, where we assess policies, evaluate progress, and celebrate excellence. It is a forum for accountability, innovation, and collaboration, aligning government, industry, and labor towards a shared vision for a competitive and transparent downstream sector. We are currently witnessing a historic transformation in our nation's downstream sector, a transformation born out of courage, clarity, and innovation. Together, these forces are shaping a new environment that is more open, more efficient, and ready for investment. The legislature has played its part by enacting the Petroleum Industry Act, giving us the legal backbone for lasting reform. The executive has taken bold and decisive steps by removing long-standing subsidies and setting our nation once again on the path of efficiency and energy reliance. And our regulators, the NNDPRA and the NUPRC, have shown professionalism and integrity in translating these reforms into action, restoring confidence among investors and stakeholders alike. Today, we have a gas ministry that has placed so much attention and focus on making gas the future of Nigerian energy transformation. Today, the value of our gas sector is rising and investment is springing up left, right, and center. We must also acknowledge the courageous role played by members of the Crude Oil Refiners Association of Nigeria, CORAN, who dared to venture where many foreign investors hesitated, demonstrating that Nigerian enterprise can drive industrial progress with vision and resolve. Their pioneering spirit reflects the resilience and ingenuity that define our nation's private sector. In the same breath, we commend dedicated staff and management of the NNPCL, Nigerian National Petroleum Company, for transforming the corporation from a loss-making entity into a profitable, performance-driven enterprise. Their turnaround effort has restored national confidence in our flagship energy institution and stands as proof that public corporation can thrive under transparency, professionalism, and discipline. We are not ignorant of the current reforms being undertaken by the management of NNPCL in the downstream sector in order to place the corporation in its rightful place in ensuring economic security for all citizens. This includes putting in place sustainable solutions to refining issues facing us today. We in the legislature assure them of our full support. Today, Nigeria proudly boasts of expanding refining capacity and industrial growth across the energy value chain. The results are already visible. Indorama Petrochemical has expanded its urea and fertilizer capacity to 2.8 million metric tons per annum, advancing agriculture and gas utilization. Watersmith Modular Refinery in Imo State is expanding from 5,000 to 50,000 barrels per day, showing the promise of indigenous enterprise. Opak Refinery in Delta and similar projects in Edo and Rivers continue to advance. And the Dangote Refinery at 650,000 barrels per day, now stands as Africa's largest, redefining our refinery landscape and boasting regional energy stability. This development, supported by over $13 billion in new upstream investment in 2024 alone, are clear signals of renewed investor confidence in Nigerian energy sector. Distinguished guests, one of the most commendable policy action in recent time is the NUPRC enforcement of the domestic crude oil supply obligation on all producers in Nigeria. This bold move ensures that local refiners, including modular and conventional operators, have granted access to crude feedstock before export allocations are made. It represents a decisive shift from policy rhetoric to practical support for local value addition, job creation, and energy independence. By ensuring that every barrel of Nigerian crude first serves the Nigerian refinery, the NUPRC have sent a strong signal. Nigeria will refine what it produces and consume what it refines. The House Committee on Downstream Petroleum Resources fully supports this policy, which aligns with our legislative vision to prioritize domestic refining capacity, enhance supply security, and strengthen the Naira through reduced import dependence. This is how nations grow, by empowering their local industries to produce, compete, and thrive, which is in line with the renewed hope agenda of this administration. However, progress must be matched with persistence. We still face challenges, from feedstock shortages and pricing uncertainty to regulatory overlaps. To address this, the House Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream intends to pursue new legislative measures to grant local refineries first right of refusal on crude allocation, streamline regulations to remove all unnecessary delay, assist the House to develop a refinery protection and promotion bill to classify refineries, whether modular or big refineries, as strategic national assets, ensuring they receive priority protection and support. Introduce measures that guarantee unhindered access to crude feedstock and promote non-disruption of refinery operations across the country. These steps are vital to sustaining investor confidence, creating jobs, and strengthening our energy independence. On labor issues, it must be noted that no reform can succeed without industry harmony. The committee is aware of the recent labor concerns involving some of the refiners and sector unions, which, while such action issues are not uncommon in developing economies, they must never be allowed to undermine productivity or national stability. I therefore call upon both labor unions and industry operators to always pursue dialogue over disruption at all times. The SAL Committee stands ready to facilitate peace, fairness, and mutual respect in our industrial engagement. Our shared goal must be to protect jobs, sustain businesses, defend workers' welfare, and promote Nigerian economic sovereignty. To all operators in the downstream sector, let me emphasize that responsibility stands equal to profitability. Compliance with tax, safety, workers' welfare, and environmental standards is not optional. It is a patriotic duty and a mark of true partnership in national development. We acknowledge, and commend the NNDPRA, NUPRC, marketers, including other critical bodies such as Petron, Nogasa, MEMAN, NATO, IPMAN, NGA, DAPMAN, and other depot owners who continue to keep our energy supply chain running. Often under challenging conditions, your resilience and commitment sustain the lifeblood of our economy and strengthen public confidence in the sector. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the foundation for reform has been laid. The vision for industrial transformation is clear. What remains is collective will and the resolve to see reform through to success. Let us therefore deepen our collaboration across the legislature, the executive, the regulators, the operators, and the labor unions to build a downstream sector that is self-reliant, transparent, and globally competitive. A sector that powers industry, creates jobs, uplifts community, and secure Nigeria's energy future. Our agenda is to see Nigeria in the near future to be the refining hub of West Africa and the global community. Together, we can make Nigeria the energy powerhouse of Africa. Thank you for your attention. God bless you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Ikengi Mugochie, Chairman, Downstream Committee.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I think the chairman deserves a better round of applause. Thank you very much, sir. Again, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to welcome to this gathering the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Gas, Right Honorable Ekpo, PhD. You're welcome, sir. So at this point, permit me to invite the President of the Senate, distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio, GCON, ably represented by the Deputy Leader of the Senate, distinguished Senator Lola Ashiru, to please step forward and present his remarks.
I say good morning and happy welcome. I am studying for the President of Senate, Godwin Akpabio, who is inauspiciously absent here today because of various national calling. I may not perfectly fit into that shoe, but I'm sure I will pick up from his prepared speech and do as best as I could do. Honorable Minister, Minister of State, you are welcome. My colleague, my chairman, Senate Committee on Downstream, Senator Kawu, an erudite senator, and a former colleague in House of Representatives. My chairman, the House Committee on Downstream, energetic chairman. I think for the first time I sit very close to him. And I was asking him about River State. He said he's very happy now. I'm happy for that one too. The chairman, House Committee on Midstream, my very good active member of House of Representatives, distinguished stakeholders, we are all here. Ladies and gentlemen, and of course, the press. Is a courage to reform, renew the soul of Nigerians' energy future. This good message by His Excellency, distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio, GCON, President of the 10th Senate of Federal Republic of Nigeria, at the opening of annual Downstream Petroleum Week Conference in this National Assembly, Monday, October 13, 2025. It gives me great pleasure to stand before you today at this year's annual Downstream Petroleum Week Conference, hosted by the House Committee on Petroleum Resources, Downstream, in partnership with Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources and Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. I wish, first and foremost, to commend my brother, Honorable Barrister Ugochinyere Ikenga, chairman of the committee, for his boldness, foresight, and patriotism in convening the important national conversation. I also salute the members of House of Representatives and all the stakeholders here, regulators, operators, experts, and citizens who share a common faith in the promise of Nigerian energy future. There are moments in the life of a nation when she must pause to take a stock, to count and blessing, confront our burdens, and chart a course for the journey ahead. This is such a moment. The downstream petroleum sector has been both a blessing and a burden to our republic, a source of immense wealth, yet also of deep frustration. It has been our strength in prosperity and our weakness in reform. Yet, through every storm and strain, Nigeria has not faltered. We have made choices that demanded courage. We have embraced reforms that require sacrifice, and have begun once again to believe that this country can rise from its difficulties and build a better tomorrow for all of us. Today, we can say with cautious pride that the frustration and foundation of a new energy order have been laid. The removal of fuel subsidies, though painful, was a necessary step to end decades of waste and corruption that drained our national treasury and distorted our markets. The ongoing rehabilitation of our refineries and the bold entry of private players from Dangote refinery to modular plants across Niger Delta represent a new dawn for self-reliance and industrial rebirth. The Petroleum Industry Act has given us a new framework of governance, one that demands transparency, efficiency, and accountability. We must now ensure that these laws leave not just on paper, but in the lives of our people. That it is not merely enacted, but enforced, and it did not serve the few, but the many and the whole nation. Still, challenges remain. Challenges that test our patience and strain our unity. The hardship caused by reform is real. The price of progress, though temporary, is very, very heavy. But history teaches us that no nation reforms without pain, and no people are transformed without resolve. Let no one imagine that journey to energy stability will be short or simple. There will be no moments of doubt, moments of difficulty, but if we stay the course, the result will be stronger, fairer, and more prosperous for the Nigerian nation. We must continue to confront smuggling, sabotage, and inefficiency in our distribution system. We must expand our gas infrastructure, strengthen our refineries, and modernize their storage and supply chain. We must also embrace the reality that the world is moving towards cleaner, renewable energy, and prepare our children not for the past, but for the future. The 10 Senate and National Assembly as a whole stand ready to play their part. We make laws that encourage investment, promote competition, and protect the consumer. We will exercise oversight that is firm but fair, ensuring that every naira spent in the name of reform delivers value to all Nigerian people. We also continue to collaborate with counterparts in House of Representatives, with the executives, and with private sector, not as rivals, but as partners in national renewal. For in moments like these, the greatest of our nation is not found in the noise of division, but in the harmony of our purpose. I urge this conference to think boldly, to speak frankly, and to recommend wisely. Let your discussion be guided not by politics, but by extreme patriotism. For the stability of the petroleum sector is the stability of Nigeria as a whole. Let us celebrate our progress, not with complacency, but with new commitment. Let us face our challenges, not with despair, but with determination. And let us find solutions that will endure, solutions that will make our downstream sector efficient, transparent, and humane. The conference reminds us that while governments make policies and parliaments make laws, it is the people who bear the weight of both. We must therefore ensure that our decisions lighten their burdens, restore their hope, and secure their future. My friends, the task before you is very, very immense. But so too is our faith. If we work together, and will together, there's no limit to what Nigeria can achieve. Let us go forward then with courage in our hearts, convictions in our minds, and confidence in the destiny of this most important nation in Africa. I thank you all for your presence and your commitment. May your deliberation be faithful, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the representative of the President of the Senate. I think you deserve a better round of applause. Thank you very much. Let me quickly recognize the presence of the representative of the Area Chief Executive, Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, Engineer Farouk Ahmed. Is being represented by Alhaji Bashir Sadiq. Alhaji Bashir Sadiq, you're welcome. And of course, the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission Chief Executive Officer is being represented by Engineer Omorense Amadasu. You're welcome, sir. The Nigerian Customs Service is being represented by Acting Controller General I.K. Oladeji. You're welcome. We thank you for coming. At this point, Mr. Chairman, honorable members, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to invite the Chairman, Senate Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream, distinguished Senator Abdulrahman Kau Sumela, to please present his remarks.
Distinguished Senator Ashuru Lola, the representative of President of the Senate, the representative of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Deputy Speaker, Mr. Chairman, House Committee on Petroleum Downstream, Mr. Chairman, Senate House Committee on Mid-Stream, I think, Mid-Down, then honorable members of the House of Representatives, our invited guests, more especially the minister, who happen to be our colleagues, the representative of various agencies, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. Mr. Chairman, my dear distinguished, honorable colleagues, it is indeed a great pleasure and an honor to stand before you today and deliver this goodwill message on behalf of the Senate Committee on Petroleum Downstream sectors, resources, and of course, the NMDPRA for organizing this important conference and for fostering strong collaboration between the legislative houses and the executive. The theme of this year conference, celebrating our success, confronting our challenges, and finding solutions for the petroleum downstream sectors. It is not only timely, but also a reflection of where we are today and the work that still lies ahead. Celebrating our success, we must first pause to acknowledge the significant achievement in the sector, anchored largely by passage and implementation of PIA 2021. The deregulation of the sector has been a bold decision and while initially challenging, it has proved to the critical sector a success. It is laid the foundation for a competitive private sector-led industry free from the distortion of subsidies. We also, as the establishment of NMDPRA has created a robust and modern framework protecting investors while ensuring consumer interest. We also celebrate the progress in local refining, particularly the operationalization of Dangote refinery and the renewed effort to bring our national refineries back on stream. These are game-changing development for energy security and conservation of foreign exchange, confronting our challenges. However, we celebrate this success, we must also agree the challenge that remained. The infrastructure deficit, including inadequate pipelines, depots, and logistics, continue to impair efficiency and raises the cost of our operation. Access to finance remains critical. Local and international operators require suitable, affordable capital and foreign exchange to thrive in a deregulated market. The agency transition presents another challenge. We must accelerate the development of compressed natural gas, CNG, and liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, to provide a cleaner, more affordable alternative of our citizens. Finally, we must address anti-competitive practices to ensure a level playing field, transparency, and public confidence in the sector. Funding solution and the legislative imperative. The National Assembly is fully committed to provide the legislative support necessary to address these challenges. Through oversight, the Senate Committee on Downstream Petroleum will ensure full and transparent implementation of PIA, holding stakeholders accountable to both the law and the Nigerians people. We will also engage with the executive to review fiscal policies that incentivize investment in critical infrastructure, particularly refining and transportation logistics. In line with a decade of gas, we will work to legislate and fund policies that accelerate domestic gas utilization, offering a practical and cleaner alternative to petrol. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this conference is a vital platform for dialogue, shared learning, and a unified vision. The Senate stands ready to partner with the House, the Ministry, and the NMDPRA to create an efficient, suitable, and competitive downstream sector, one that serves the Nigerian economy and guarantee energy security to all citizens. I wish all a successful and fruitful Downstream Petroleum Conference week. Thank you all. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Break National Assembly, and the entire energy sector of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, distinguished Senator Abdurrahman Kawu Sumela, the Chairman, Senate Committee on Petroleum Resources, Downstream. We thank you. Let me quickly recognize the Executive Secretary, Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, Engineer Felix Omashola Ogbe, who is here represented by Dr. Abdul Malik Alilu. You're welcome. At this point, Mr. Chairman, permit me to invite for his own goodwill message the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Gas, Right Honorable Ekperikpe Ekpo, PhD. Let's appreciate him, please.
The Chairman, House Committee on Petroleum Downstream, and the Senate Committee Chairman on the same committee of the House of the Senate, other chairmen of related committees that are here, distinguished honorable members. I bring you greetings from the father of the nation, the leader of the nation, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. It is a great honor to return to this distinguished National Assembly complex with particular reference to House of Representatives, a place I once proudly called home during my service as a member representing Akpoti-Uduaghan Federal Constituency. Those years in the legislature deepened my appreciation of the critical role the National Assembly plays in shaping policy, ensuring accountability, and advancing the welfare of our nation. It is therefore always a pleasure to stand among my colleagues and friends who remain committed to progress of our great country. I therefore commend the chairman and members of the House Committee on Petroleum Downstream for organizing the annual Downstream Petroleum Week Conference 2025. This event reflects the National Assembly's continued leadership in fostering dialogue, transparency, and reform in one of the most critical sectors of our economy, the petroleum industry. The theme of this year's conference, celebrating our successes, confronting our challenges and finding solutions is both timely and profound. It invites us to reflect on how far we have come, to acknowledge the challenges before us, and to collectively provide a sustainable solution that secures the future of Nigeria's downstream industry and ensure sustainable progress. Indeed, we have come to celebrate. Over the past few years, Nigeria's downstream sector has recorded remarkable development from the implementation of the regulation policies and liberalization of the petroleum market to renewed private investment in domestic refining and storage capacity. We are also witnessing a transformation in our gas value chain as part of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda. The Decade of Gas initiative is driving an ambitious program to deepen domestic gas utilization, expand infrastructure, and accelerate the transition to cleaner fuels, such as compressed natural gas CNG and liquefied natural gas and petroleum gas LPG. These efforts are designed to enhance energy accessibility, reduce dependence on imported fuels, and create new economic opportunities for Nigerians, from household and small businesses to large-scale industries. However, while these achievements are commendable, we must also be honest about the challenges that persist. Our downstream sector continues to face issues related to infrastructure deficits, market volatility, supply chain inefficiencies, and the need for regulatory clarity. Addressing this requires sustained collaboration between the executive and legislature, underpinned by sound policy direction and consistent implementation. It is also a call for enhanced private sector participation, investment in technology, and adherence to global best practices. As policymakers, regulators, and operators, we must ensure that reforms are people-centered, designed to make energy more affordable, accessible, and sustainable for all Nigerians. In this regard, the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, Gas, is focused on three key priorities. One, accelerating gas infrastructure development. Through strategic projects such as the OB3 and AKK gas pipeline, the West African gas pipeline, as well as regional initiatives like Nigeria Equatorial Guinea gas pipeline, which aim to enhance connectivity and supply reliability. Promoting gas utilization. Through the CNG and LPG penetration programs that support clean cooking and transport energy solutions for homes, women, youth, and small businesses are at home. Driving regulatory and investment reforms to ensure a more transparent, competitive, and investor-friendly gas and downstream environment that support the vision of gas as the transition fuel for Nigeria's energy future. Distinguished colleagues, industry leaders, ladies and gentlemen, the transformation of Nigeria's downstream and gas sector cannot be achieved by one arm of government. It requires the combined effort of the legislature, the executive, and private sector and the Nigerian people. As we celebrate our progress today, let us also recommit to partnership, innovation, and accountability in addressing the challenges ahead. Together, we can build a downstream sector that truly supports industrialization, create jobs, and delivers prosperity across our nation. I once again commend the House Committee on Petroleum Resources, Downstream, for its vision in hosting this important conference. And I wish all participants fruitful deliberation and meaningful outcomes. Before I end, let me recognize the representatives of the NUPRC and his team, and the NMDPRA and his team. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, chairmen and members of House of Representatives, thank you very much. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister for Petroleum Resources, Gas. Thank you very much, sir. Representing the Chairman Dangote Refinery, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, we welcome Alhaji Aliu Suleiman. You're welcome, sir. At this point, permit me to invite for his goodwill message the Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Petroleum Resources, Midstream, Honorable Prince Odianosen Okuji. Let's appreciate him, please. Thank you.
The representative of the Senate President, as well as the representative of our leader, our father, the Right Honorable Speaker, ably represented by the Deputy Speaker. The Chairman, House Committee on Downstream, the Chairman, House Committee, the Chairman, Senate Committee on Downstream, distinguished honorable colleagues, representative of the NUPRC here present, representative of NMDPRO here present, representative of Dangote Refineries here present, esteemed colleagues, industry stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen. It is a privilege to address you at this year's annual Downstream Petroleum Resources Committee Conference. Our team, celebrating our success, confronting our challenges, and finding solutions for the petroleum downstream sector. Capture as the essence of our shared journey and the urgency of our missions. Celebrating our success, over the past few years, Nigerian downstream petroleum sector has undergone a significant transformation. The enactment of the Petroleum Industry Act, the PIA, marked a turning point, establishing a framework for transparency, efficiency, and investors' confidence. We have seen increased private sector participation, improved product availability, and the benefit of subsidy removal. Equally important is our growing embrace of clean energy. The transforming to cleaner fuel is no longer aspirational, it is a reality. Nigeria's commitment to reducing carbon emissions and promoting sustainable energy sources reflect our determination to environmental responsibility and long-term energy security. Confronting our challenges. Despite these gains, we must acknowledge the challenges that persist. Infrastructural deficits, particularly the pipelines, the storage, and the capacity of refining to hinder progresses. Global price volatility, foreign exchange constraint, and the socio-economic impact of subsidy removal has placed pressure on both operators and consumers. Regulatory overlap
and inconsistent enforcement further complicates the landmark. We must confront the reality that policy without execution is ineffective. Our citizens deserve a petroleum sector that delivers efficiently, transparently, and sustainably. To move forward, we must embrace innovation, collaboration, and accountability. The House Committee on Petroleum Resources Midstream is committed to advancing legislative reforms that support infrastructural investment, promote indigenous refining, and ensure fair market practices. We must encourage modular refineries, prioritize strategic reserves, and institutionalize digitalization and data transparency. Above all, we must encourage stakeholders listening to citizens, operators, and experts to shape inclusive and impactful practices. In this regard, the Natural Gas Expansion Program stands as a cornerstone of our energy transition. Natural gas, cleaner, cost-effective, and abundant, is central to our national strategy. Accelerating its adoption across transportation, power generation, and industry as essential. As a committee, we must be committed to providing the legislative support needed to build infrastructural and market system that will position gas and Nigeria fuel for the future. Our commitment, we reaffirm our commitment to oversight that is constructive rather than punitive, to legislation that empowers rather than restricts, and to a petroleum sector that is resilient, inclusive, and future-ready. We also call for an enabling environment, one of that fosters innovation, reward investment, and protect stakeholders. Nigeria must be seen not as a risk, but as a destination of opportunity. This demands consistency in policy, clarity in regulations, and integrity in implementations. Let this conference be a catalyst for action. Let us live here not only with ideas, but with resolve. The downstream petroleum sector is too vital to our economy, too central to our daily lives, and too rich in potential to be left to change. Together, let us celebrate, let us confront, and let us solve. Thank you, and may God bless you all. Thank you for listening, and have a wonderful deliberation. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Moving on, may I at this point invite the Area Chief Executive, ably represented by Alhaji Bashir Sadiq, to please present his goodwill message. Nigeria Midstream, Downstream, Petroleum Regulatory Authority.
The Honorable Chair, House of Representative Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream, the Honorable Chair, House of Representative Petroleum Resources Committee on Midstream, the honorable members present, representative of the CCE, my friend Enorense Amadasu, invited ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm here to represent the authority Chief Executive Engineer Farouk Ahmed, who is unavoidably absent because of a parallel national assignment. So I will be reading his goodwill remarks on this very important event, especially for us in the NMDPRA. And here it goes. I am very delighted to participate in the inaugural annual Downstream Petroleum Week, hosted by the esteemed House Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream. The downstream sector provides the energy required for the socio-economic development of any nation. It is the last mile in all the activities that takes place in the oil and gas industry, and it is what benefits the common man. That is where the value is driven. That is where people get the value of all the work we do in the industry. Reviewing and celebrating our successes, analyzing and confronting our challenges, realization of the collective aspiration of energy sufficiency and security in the country is very important for any nation. And I think this is the first place, this is the best place to start. Most of the changes we have seen in recent years as it relates to the downstream and midstream in the oil and gas industry started from here. It is as a result of the passage of the PIA 2021, which was passed by these honorable chambers, and it demonstrates the leadership capacity, the foresight, and the deep understanding of this committee to have initiated this, this event. We thank you very much for that. As part of the changes we have seen in the oil and gas industry, from a country that produces nothing in the last 2 years, we are now approaching over 40% sufficiency in PMS production, and we can reliably say that as of today, we have sufficiency for almost all the other products, AGO, ATK, and LPG to that extent. So we thank the National Assembly for passing the PIA, and we thank the leadership of Mr. President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, GCFR, for his leadership in making this happen. It must also be noted that the area where the area of sufficiency has transcended just us making product available to the in the country. We have made it possible today to eliminate trans-border smuggling due to our pricing policies. Now our prices are comparative with international prices, and there is full cost recovery in the sector, thereby eliminating the need for subsidy. It is a very big achievement. We believe the annual Downstream Petroleum Week will provide a veritable platform where policies, strong governance, innovations, and result-oriented solutions will be formulated to support the continuous transformation of the downstream sector. Ladies and gentlemen, honorables, the passage and implementation of the PIA 21, I repeat again, has provided a robust legal framework that is ensuring regulatory activities across the petroleum value chain in Nigeria and the sustainable development of the downstream sector. The legal and regulatory framework prescribes models for driving competition, enhancing energy security, providing investment de-risking, funding and engagements and arrangements, backward integration, for industrial development and enforcing environmental stewardship. NMDPRA has developed and gazetted 18 regulations in collaboration with stakeholders for midstream and downstream operations. The gazetted regulation enable effective and efficient management of industry activities and environmental and community issues for our stakeholders. We have witnessed accelerated growth in investment across the sector, which we are also promoting so that we can achieve 100% self-sufficiency in the near future. We have continued to partner with other regulators, especially West African Regulators Forum, African Refiners and Distribution Association, S&P Global Insight, with the hope that someday in the very near future we can make Nigeria a hub for downstream activities in Africa. Honorable members, my chair, we thank you very much for engaging with NMDPRA. We promise you our support. We are always willing, working as part of the executive. We will reach out to the legislature so that we can keep on improving on the good work we have done. The future is bright for the industry, and I crave the indulgence of all participants to give this forum all it takes so that it will be a resounding success. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
At this point, permit me to invite for his goodwill message the representative of the Chief Executive Officer, Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, Engineer Gbenga Komolafe, who is being represented by the Executive Commissioner, Development and Production of the Commission, Engineer Enorese Amadasu. After him, we will take the representative of the Chairman, Dangote Refinery.
House Committee on Petroleum Resources, Downstream, Honorable Barrister Ikenga Imo Ugochinyere. The Chairman, House Committee on Petroleum Resources, Midstream, Honorable Odianose Okuje. Honorable members present, my brother, my friend, the Authority Chief Executive, ably represented by Alhaji Bash, heads of agencies here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great pleasure to deliver this goodwill message on behalf of the Commission Chief Executive, Engineer Gbenga Komolafe. He brings his greetings. And also on behalf of Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commissions at this year's Downstream Petroleum Week. Let me commend the House Committee for sustaining this important platform to dialogue and reflect within our national petroleum industry. The theme for this year conference, celebrating our successes, confronting our challenges, and finding solutions for the petroleum downstream sector, aptly captures the spirit of our collective journey in Nigeria oil and gas sector today. It invites us to take stock of our progress, identify the obstacles that still stand in our way, and reaffirm our shared resolute to build a more efficient, transparent, and sustainable petroleum value chain. As a regulator of the upstream segment, the NUPRC recognizes the fortunes of the downstream sector that they are highly intrinsically linked to the development to upstream. A vibrant, well-regulated, and transparent upstream sector is fundamental
to ensuring adequate and reliable crude supply to domestic refineries, which in turn guarantees energy security and market stability. In line with the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA, the NUPROC has been at the forefront of implementing the provisions relating to domestic crude supply obligations. The crucial policy instrument ensure that sufficient crude oil volumes are made available for local refinery to meet Nigeria domestic energy demand. I am pleased to report that through diligent regulatory oversight and collaboration with industry operators, the Commission has successfully increased crude supply to local refinery for domestic consumption. While this achievement marks significant progress, the Commission is also addressing the teething challenges that have delayed the conclusion of sales and purchase agreements between producers and refiners off-takers. Efforts are ongoing through continuous engagement and facilitation to ensure that oil allocated volume translates into effective deliveries to operational refineries across the country. This milestone reflects the Commission's unwavering commitment to the full implementation of the Nigeria Industry Acts, Petroleum Industry Acts, transparency in the crude oil allocation, and the promotion of a functional and sustainable domestic refinery sector. By ensuring that more of our crude oil is refined locally, we are not only strengthening national energy security, but also creating jobs, conserving foreign exchange, and adding greater value within our economy. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate our collective progress, let us also remain united in purpose and proactive in addressing the challenges before us. The petroleum sector, both upstream and downstream, must continue to evolve together in pursuit of the same national objective: a resilient, competitive, and inclusive energy future for Nigeria. On behalf of the management and staff of the Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, I once again commend the House Committee on Petroleum Downstream for its leadership and assure you of our continued collaboration towards achieving the full potential of our industry. Thank you for your attention, and I want to wish you all the best in our deliberation for this event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the representative of NUPRC. We thank you very much. At this point, permit me to invite Alhaji Aliko Dangote, the chairman, Dangote Refinery, ably represented by Alhaji Aliyu Suleiman.
Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, distinguished leaders. Permit me to stand on existing protocol. Let me start by conveying the apologies of Alhaji Aliko Dangote. He will have loved to be here, but he is unavoidably absent. He extends his best wishes and support for this conference. I will now proceed to read his speech. Distinguished guests, government representatives, industry leaders, partners, and other stakeholders of Nigeria's petroleum downstream sector. It is truly an honor to be here today to rub minds on how to strengthen Nigeria's petroleum downstream sector in the new era. Africa's refining sector remains underdeveloped, both relative to its consumption and relative to the volume of crude that is produced in Africa. While Europe and Asia refine over 95% of their petroleum product requirement, Africa refines only 40%. In sub-Saharan Africa, there are very few large functional refineries today. This is understandable because refining is capital intensive, is technologically complex, and often is a low margin business. So as a result, many entrepreneurs and governments have chosen to stay away. But at Dangote, we are known for taking bold steps. We are known for making large-scale investments to substitute imports and create value in the country. Therefore, this is a challenge that we were happy to take. When it came to tackling the refining challenge, we decided to do it, even though it was not easy. Building a world-class refinery anywhere in the world is a huge task. It is capital-intensive and very demanding logistically. To build ours, we cleared over 2,700 hectares of land, pumped 65 million cubic meters of sand to stabilize the site, installed over 250,000 foundation piles, and laid millions of meters of piping, cabling, and wiring. At peak, we had over 67,000 people on site, of which 50,000 were Nigerians. We had these people working around the clock across hundreds of disciplines and nationalities. Today, the Dangote refinery can meet all of Nigeria's demand for diesel and jet A1 and still have surplus for export, which can be used to earn valuable foreign exchange for Nigeria. The refinery can meet 90% of Nigeria's PMS requirements. This is based on the official consumption numbers of 50 million per day. Our view is that the real consumption perhaps is more about 40 million, in which case we should be able to meet Nigeria's demand. Across the world, major oil producers typically meet their petroleum product requirements through their own domestic refineries, not through imports. The United States, for example, imports only about 8% of their petroleum products requirement. If you look at most of the major crude oil producers, you will see that they don't import more than 10% of their petroleum product requirements. This is where Nigeria should be heading. And with the advent of the Dangote refinery and development of the sector, we hope that we'll get there. At the Dangote Group, our strategy across all our businesses is to provide our customers with high-quality products at attractive prices, not just in the refinery, across all the businesses. The same in cement, sugar, and the rest. Refined products from our refinery are of higher quality than imported ones, and yet our prices are below import parity and below the average prices across most African countries. Across Africa, PMS and diesel sell for around $1 per liter, net of taxes and subsidies. But in Nigeria, our current price is below 60 cents per liter. This is a huge cost benefit for Nigerians, even though the cost benefit may not be immediately obvious, because before the advent of the Dangote refinery, subsidies were used to mask the real market price. Still, in spite of this, we find ourselves in a situation where Nigeria imports petroleum products, while at the same time, Dangote refinery is exporting. This is a paradox that we must address in order for this sector to grow. Beyond energy security, domestic refining delivers broad economic benefits. Refineries deliver job creation, skill development, industrial linkages, and exchange rate stability. The Ibeju-Lekki area has become a thriving axis today. The shipping sector is handling much more volumes than they used to handle before now. Engineering capacity is strengthening. Across Dangote, NNPC, and the modular refineries, Nigeria has over 1 million barrels per day of installed domestic refining capacity. These benefits will multiply if we enable this capacity to operate fully. Across our businesses, the Dangote Group typically focuses on manufacturing while assisting its distributors with the logistics required to deliver to their customers. Across Africa, we have over 10,000 trucks which deliver products for our distributors. The same operating model applies to refining. We must all work together to reduce distribution costs in order not to burden Nigerians with inefficiency. Historically, marketers source products from abroad and supply the country via coastal storage terminals. Today, there is a domestic alternative. We must therefore find an optimal split of offtake between trucks loading directly at the refinery versus loading into vessels for transportation to various storage terminals. It does not make economic sense to move products by ship to a nearby coastal depot at additional cost when the same volume could have been evacuated by trucks directly from the refinery. We must also work with MPA and NIMASA to find ways to reduce coastal transport costs, as these add up to the total product costs that end up being passed on to Nigerians. That said, Nigeria's refining potential is massive. We are in a place where we can be a refining hub that will process crude from Nigeria and surrounding African countries and supply Nigeria and other markets. When we entered the cement sector, Nigeria produced less than 2 million tons per year and was totally dependent on imports. Today, through visionary investment, determined execution, and government support, we have 52 million tons of capacity across Africa, and we'll reach 60 million tons by next year. Nigeria is now a net exporter of cement, and by 2027, we plan to export $500 million worth of cement and clinker annually. The same transformation is happening in refining. Nigeria is now a net exporter of refined petroleum products, polypropylene, and urea. This is a historic turnaround, and we are just getting started. Soon, the Dangote refinery will be listed, giving Nigerians the opportunity to become shareholders in this national asset. Given its potential, this sector must be nurtured and protected. The current import licensing regime, where import licenses are issued without considering domestic supply, has exposed domestic refineries to unfair competition. This is because most of this import tends to come from Russia, and products from Russia are produced with crude that is priced $25 per barrel, cheaper than Nigerian crude because of the sanctions. So this, in a way, is almost like dumping, which hurts domestic refineries. Aside from the Crude for Naira initiative, graciously introduced by Mr. President, local refineries currently enjoy no protection or incentives. The Petroleum Industry Act provides for such support, but implementation has been lacking. We've read in the news that NUPRC is implementing the domestic crude supply obligation. We are still discussing as far as we are concerned, as there are still areas that need to be addressed. Today, domestic crude producers sell their cargoes to domestic refiners at a price that is higher than the price used to compute their taxes. This, in our view, represents a leakage for the country and needs to be addressed. We understand that NUPRC is looking at this, and we hope they will soon conclude and ensure that the prices that domestic refineries buy crude is also same as the price that is used to compute taxes. We also call on regulators to implement the backward integration policy for the refining sector. Finally, let me address the monopoly argument. Too many people with the means to build industries choose instead to invest abroad, criticizing from afar while adding little value to Nigeria's real economy. We have chosen differently. We have chosen to bet on Nigeria. We have chosen to build here, to employ here, to produce here. So let us not use the cry of monopoly to stifle growth. No one is prevented from investing. We welcome others to build their own refineries, and we will offer support in whatever way we can. What we must not do is to allow dumping to destroy our manufacturing base. With the current status of the sector, no one will be incentivized to invest. Those who have started have actually begun to slow down because they are seeing what is happening in the sector. In closing, let me reiterate, Nigeria holds a natural competitive advantage in refining. We enjoy proximity to oil and gas supply and also to large markets. We should therefore work together to develop this sector. We should work to enact and implement laws that will help this sector to prosper. Let us protect our industries and deliver the economic transformation this country deserves. Thank you very much, and I wish you all a productive delivery.
Members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, in the next 10 minutes, we'll be going on break, but before then, We'll take goodwill message from the representative of the Controller General of Customs, after which the committee wish to recognize some group regulatory agencies and individuals. After the award, we'll go for break. When we come back, we'll continue with goodwill message and we'll take presentation that we have for today. Thank you. The Acting Controller General of Customs, Akpoti-Uduaghan, representing the Controller General of Customs.
Senate Committee on Downstream, Senator Abraham Sumaila. The Chairman House Committee on Downstream, Honorable Barrister Ikenga Imo Ugochinyere. The Deputy Chairman on Downstream, both Senate and House. Honorable members of the committee, the Honorable Minister of Petroleum, Gas, the Honorable Minister of Petroleum, Senator Eneke Lokobiri, heads of government agencies and parastatals present, captains of industries, civil society organization, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here standing for the Controller General of Customs, Alhaji Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, MFR DSM FNIPR PSC Daga, who is unavoidably absent due to some national assignments. I'm standing here for him to deliver his goodwill message. I'm Assistant Controller General of Customs, Akpoti-Uduaghan. I'm in charge of finance, admin, and special duty of Nigeria Customs Service. It is both an honor and a privilege to deliver this goodwill message on behalf of the Controller General of Customs, CGC, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, MFR, DSM FNIPR PSC Daga, at this year's Downstream Petroleum Week Conference. I bring you warm greetings from the leadership and entire management team of Nigeria Customs Service. Let me begin by commending the organizers of this important gathering for putting together a platform that not only celebrates the milestones of the downstream oil and gas industry, but also critically engage the pressing issues we continue to face. The choosing term, celebrating our successes, confronting our challenges, and finding solutions, aptly capture the need. Balance, recognizing achievements while remaining resolute in addressing the complexity that lie ahead. Nigeria downstream petroleum sector is a cornerstone of our national economy. Its growth and efficiency are vital for energy security, job creation, and sustainable development. This conference, with its structured objectives, serves as a timely and strategic opportunity to, one, recognize and showcase the remarkable progress achieved in refining, distribution, and retail operations. Two, identify and analyze persistent bottlenecks that continue to challenge optimal performance. Three, deepen dialogue among legislators, regulators, operators, and operators to co-create policies that are pragmatic and forward-looking. Four, brainstorm and recommend innovative, actionable, and sustainable solutions that can reshape the sector. And finally, drive commitment to environmental stewardship and sustainable practices that safeguard our future. As the National Coordinator of Operation Wild Wind, a special initiative under the Office of National Security Advisor, ONSA, and the Nigeria Customs Service, we understand all too well the challenges of securing our petroleum resources against illicit activities, such as smuggling, diversion, and economic sabotage. Operation Whirlwind remains committed to supporting the federal government's reforms in the downstream sector by ensuring regulatory compliance, improving transparency, and enhancing interagency collaboration. Your presence here today and the diverse expertise you bring are instrumental in fostering a holistic and collaborative approach to sectorial growth. The Nigeria Customs Service stands ready to partner with all stakeholders in co-creating solutions that promote efficiency, accountability, and long-term sustainability in the downstream oil and gas industry. Let us use this week not only to celebrate our wins, but also to reaffirm our shared responsibility to confront challenges with courage, innovations, and unity of purpose. On behalf of the Controller General of Customs, I wish you all fruitful deliberation and successive conference. Thank you all, and God bless.
Thank you very much, sir. The representative of the Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service. You're welcome, sir. Moving on quickly, this committee, the House of Representatives Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream, deem it fit to recognize certain groups and agencies. This is called Excellency Award Recognition. Of course, directives from Mr. Chairman will start from Quran. May I invite Mr. Martins Obaze, Executive Director and Head of Secretariat of Quran. Is he here? In proud recognition of uncommon courage, innovation, and patriotism, the House Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream hereby honors the Crude Oil Refiners Association of Nigeria, Quran, with this certificate of recognition for daring into a field where angels feared to tread, the bold and challenging frontier of domestic refining within Nigeria's energy sector. At a time when the nation's refining capacity faced immense constraints, Quran demonstrated visionary leadership and collective determination by championing indigenous ship investment, technology adoption, and private sector participation in crude oil refining. Through its efforts, Quran has helped catalyze the emergence of modular refineries, created employment opportunities, reduced dependence on fuel imports, and advanced the national goal of energy self-sufficiency. The committee commends Quran courage in transforming adversity into opportunities and for embodying the spirit of enterprise that continues to drive progress within the downstream petroleum industry. Presented with deep appreciation for your audacity, innovation, and service to national development. Congratulations, Quran.
Thank you, MC, for a job well done. On behalf of the House Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream, I hereby present you this meritorious award of excellence presented to Crude Oil Refinery Owners Association of Nigeria, Quran. Thank you.
Next, may I invite NMDPRA and NUPRC. In recognition of their exemplary leadership, regulatory excellence, and unwavering commitment to the implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act, the House Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream proudly honors the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, NMDPRA, under the leadership of Engineer Gbenga Komolafe and Engineer Farouk Ahmed, respectively. This recognition celebrates their pivotal role in transforming the PIA from policy into purposeful action, fostering transparency, accountability, efficiency, renewed investors' confidence across Nigerian petroleum value chain. Presented with profound appreciation and national esteem, House of Representatives Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream presents you this award. Congratulations. Next is Alhaji Aliko Dangote. Representative of Alhaji Aliko Dangote, please step forward. We have two awards. I will present the two at the same time. One for Alhaji Aliko Dangote and one for Dangote Refinery. The House of Representatives Committee on Petroleum Downstream proudly recognizes Alhaji Aliko Dangote as a pillar of transformation in Nigerian downstream petroleum sector. Through his vision, resilience, and unwavering commitment to national development, Alhaji Dangote has redefined the standards of excellence in refining, distribution, and energy infrastructure. His pioneering efforts have not only advanced Nigeria's quest for self-sufficiency in petroleum products, but have also inspired renewed confidence in the nation's industrial capacity and potential. The committee salutes its legacy of innovation, enterprise, and patriotism, a legacy that continues to light the path towards a more efficient, transparent, and globally competitive downstream industry. Also, in recognition of its outstanding contribution to Nigeria's energy security, industrial growth, and economic diversification, the House of Representatives Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream proudly presents this award of strategic national importance to the Dangote Refinery. This honor acknowledges the refinery's pivotal role in transforming Nigeria's downstream petroleum landscape, reducing dependency on imports, creating thousands of jobs, and positioning the nation as a hub of refining excellence in Africa. Presented with deep appreciation and national pride, House of Representatives Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream present this award to Alhaji Aliko Dangote and Dangote Refinery. Congratulations. Representative of NNPCL. Anybody from NNPCL? Okay. Of course, as we're going for tea break, lunch break, please, we'll take group photograph just here, after which we'll proceed on lunch break, just for 20 minutes, please. We plan to leave here before 5 p.m., just for 20 minutes. We expect to see you back in this hall in the next 20 minutes so that we can take other presentation. Thank you very much for your patience. We look forward to seeing you back in the next 20 minutes. Thank you very much.